The City of Parkersburg responded to the Sanitation Ordinance Referendum Committee on Monday. According to the city, nearly 900 signatures were invalid. Our Cassidy Fury has more details.
The City of Parkersburg Ordinance Number 01775 referendum petition was deemed insufficient by the City Clerk's office. The committee that spearheaded the petition now demands answers.
I honestly just couldn't believe it. It raised so many questions for me immediately about how these signatures are being validated.
Eric Engel, resident of Parkersburg and member of the committee, said municipal government has not been forthcoming about the methods or qualifications used to validate the signatures.
We don't have any guidance from the county clerk's office that's doing the validating to understand what would lead to invalidations or what specific signatures were invalidated and why.
Engel said they now have 10 days from March 16th to provide an additional 672 valid signatures.
Even with the county clerk's count and the dismissal of approximately 900 signatures, you still had over 2,100 signatures that even the county clerk is admitting are valid.
There are only a few clear guidelines for what qualifies as a valid signature, according to Engel, of which petition volunteers verify before allowing someone to sign.
Make sure that you are an active registered voter and that you do have to live within the city confines of Parkersburg, within the city limits.
Connie Schaefer, Parkersburg City Clerk, referenced Section 8 of the Charter in the city's notice of the insufficient petition to the committee. The city states that the sanitation ordinance is not subject to referendum.
But both the county clerk and the city clerk, I think, have responsibilities here for making sure that the citizens know how to properly do what they need to do to make this petition successful, and that the citizens are fully aware, the county and local municipal government are fully transparent about how they're going to certify it, how they're going to validate signatures and show that you've done it.
Engel said they are prepared to continue their battle for transparency within the court system if necessary.
If this does come out successfully for the petitioners, this will be the first time in Parkersburg history that a petition drive like this has been successful in accomplishing what it set out to do. So this is a big deal, and I think, people are going to lose a lot of trust in the process and in the city and its willingness to obey the charter. They're going to have a lot of questions for the Wood County Clerk about what may have happened here if this doesn't work out.
Ray Vanoy, another resident of Parkersburg, has reached out to the city, West Virginia auditors, and the West Virginia Ethics Commission to, quote, formally request a technical inquiry regarding the administrative protocols currently being utilized to certify the petition for referendum, end quote. County Clerk Joe Gonzalez, who was involved daily with the signature validations, was contacted for a response, but declined to give one, deferring to the city clerk and the city attorney. Reporting from Parkersburg, I'm Cassidy Fury with WTAP News.